the way that they're going at the moment, would struggle to beat the Crusaders. Argentina, that's going to be... I don't even think they'll even get there. Now, if they were actually dressed up as the Argentinian team, I still think the Crusaders would beat them. That's what I think anyway, Ra?
Yeah, well, I'd like to see them, but, it would be awesome to put that theory to a test. Keith, I remember when I think the Auckland side took on one of the top league teams in Europe, I think, in some sort of cross-code game. They played a few first half in rugby and the second half in league, and I think the Union boys toasted them up because, as we know here in New Zealand, a lot of those Auckland players actually played, rugby league in the junior grade. So they did the cross codes quite quickly, and I'd like to see that. Maybe the Crusaders taking on I don't know, not the Warriors, but a Storm team, in a similar kind of matchup. It'd be interesting. I'd put my money on the Crusaders.
What do you reckon, JT? Storm against the Crusaders? What do you reckon, bro?
Oh, I don't know enough about the Crusaders, to be honest. But listen, a few years back, Bath, I think, was the reigning European champion, and they played Wigan.
Bath, yes.
Wigan or some team in the league. They played two matches, one of each code. So in the league game, obviously the Wigan boys put 80 points on them, and the Union was a lot closer. The Wigan, I think, only lost by about maybe 10 or 12 points. So yeah, horses for courses, mate. It's all speculation. Obviously, you can lean towards whichever code favours whichever code you favour. So unless it happens, it's all pie in the sky, boys.
Yes, I completely agree. You follow a bit of rugby there yourself, Willy?
I'm with you, JT.
Yeah.
Hey?
Do you follow a bit of rugby, or have you been following the Super Rugby there yourself, Willy?
Yeah, I'm all rugby, bro. I love rugby. I follow the Crusaders. I watched the game last week. It was that was one of the best footy games I've seen for a while.
Yeah.
As for cross-coding, Crusaders against the Storm, that would be interesting to see. That would be a really interesting thing to see. The Crusaders are the top of their game.
Yep.
And the Storm at the top of their game. So that would be very, very interesting to see. Very interesting to see. But as JT says, it will be pie in the sky stuff. But it would be. I would love to see that. But
that would certainly be something. Yeah, and I think a lot of people might actually pay some good coin to watch something like that, Willy?
Yeah, they would. They would pay good coin, man. Sponsorship would get behind it. Just a one-off event or whatever. Yep. It would be a great thing.
Yeah, I agree.
But you gotta love the NRL. I've got to love the league at the moment. We're coming up to the State of Origin on Wednesday night. We're looking forward to that.
How much are you looking forward to it, JT? Boy, it's going to be a tough one, bro. What do you reckon?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're backs against the wall, but that's where Queensland, seems to find that motivation to come out firing. And the addition of Mitchell Pearce into the New South Wales team certainly swings the pendulum back towards Queensland ever so slightly. Mitchell Pearce has got he's got a lot of demons to exercise from his previous Origin encounters where the likes of Smith and Thurston certainly taunted him both on the field, and I see Thurston's having a couple of jabs off the field, even in retirement. He's trying to put the young, not the young fella, but the experienced number 7 off for New South Wales. But the good thing is, boys, should Queensland lose, the next day I'm skipping the country. I'm off to Europe.
Fair enough, hey?
So you won't have to put up with Jeff Moses giving you the raspberries,
True.
Because you'll be on the bugger, he'll be onto us.
100 others, but you live by the sword, you die by it, and I'm certainly giving out my fair share of
Indeed. I bet you have.
That's right.
Critique is what you call it, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Bring it on, you reckon, Willy?
It's going to go, well, when they give me shit, I go, well, you got 10 more series.
Fair enough, eh?
If you win 10 more series, then we can start talking,
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you what, though, it's going to be a tough one for the Queenslanders, because all 4 of us are Queensland supporters, but it's going to be a tough one, isn't it, Willy?
It's going to be tough, man. That chicken game was I think they might have taken it a little bit lightly.
Yes. Yes.
They might have taken that one, because, as, what's his name? Jimmy James Maloney.
Yeah. Yeah.
After the first game, James Maloney said, he was right too. He said, Queensland weren't all that hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes, New South Wales has had a bad day at the office.
Yes. And they did.
That's basically what he said, and then they came out the second game and proved it.
Yes. Yes.
And Jimmy, he might be a little bit of a, he made a bit of a difference in that second game.
I think he did. He made a big difference, didn't he, JT?
Made a big difference.
Yeah. I think James Maloney did make it.
Yeah, we've been down on the ground before the Queensland, but they've definitely got a passion in their heart. The New South Wales team has always looked better on paper.
I know.
Always. As soon as they name their team, you go, holy shit,
Watch out.
Being here from the 80s and watching it all the way come through, there's something about that Queensland heart.
Yeah. Indeed, there is, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah.
There is, isn't there? Anyway, so you must be looking forward to that game too, Ra?
Oh, yeah, and I think you made the point we're all Queensland supporters here. It would have been good to have our man Reno kind of, showing his true colours for the Blues. But, no, I think the Maroons are going to get exact a bit of revenge. I just think they were caught up with the highs of playing that new stadium. And they maybe even thought they had it in the bag, but somebody forgot to tell the New South Welshmen that, they had everything to play for, obviously, after the first game. So, you knew they were going to come out, all guns a-blazing. And I think Queensland just went to sleep. And we're hoping that, the man next to them was going to sort of pull their weight as well and try and, secure that victory. But, no, the third game's going to be different, a lot more challenging, but I think they should just sneak in a win. Well, I hope they do. Otherwise, all those Blues supporters like our men Reno and them, wow, this will be their year.
I know. I mean, it's going to be one heck of a game, that is for sure. Anyway, before we get into my favourite part of the show, now, JT, you're going to be taking a trip overseas?
Yeah, so we fly out Thursday from Brisbane to Singapore, onto Zurich, a few other places in between.
Another one.
So Paris. I'm not overly keen on Paris, but she who must be obeyed insisted that we go there, so we're going there. Over to London for a few days, catching up with some family and friends there. You might remember Walton Woodford, Keith.
Walton Woodford. Why does that name ring a bell? It rings a bell.
His mum was our teacher at
right. Yes.
Keith's brother.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's been in London for 20-odd years, so going to get catch up with him. Then a friend of mine I used to work with in the mines is getting married over in Ireland, so I'm going to an Irish wedding, and looking forward to that. My liver will probably be shot by the time I return, and then we're coming back through Barcelona, through Italy, and up through into Prague and Germany before we go to Denmark and finally Sweden, and then make the long trek home. So it's a bit of a journey, but certainly looking forward to it, and one that we've planned for a while now. And it's our first trip home without the kids, mate. So yeah, mate.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's something special, eh?
He gets around that stuff if you don't.
I know. Tell me about it. And am I correct in you're going to catch the World Cup final whilst you're over there? Is that right?
Well, I've got tickets to it, so should the Black Caps make it, I'll certainly go. If not, then I'll just go chuck them in the Thames River and.
Fair enough. just on the World Cup, of course, which is happening over there in England. New Zealand, they've lost their last couple of games, and they've lost them pretty badly, haven't they, JT?
Yeah, they've lost them, I would say, embarrassingly. Particularly the one bombs the other night. We had hopes for a period of that match too, but ended up folding into a complete heap. And look, it doesn't look good moving forward as we approach the knockout stages. We play Australia in the coming days, so you'd have to say advantage Australia at the moment, but there's always hope. We're still alive. I think cricket's a funny game. You get it right on the day, you can
Yeah, it costs. It's very costly. Yeah.
The three main aspects of cricket are bowling, batting, and fielding, and I think we've only done the fielding reasonably well. Bowling at times has been good.
Yeah.
But at order haven't fired, the likes of
Williamson,
Latham, and apart from Kane Williamson, the top order haven't fired. Martin Guptill has been a bit
Guppy, Guptill's been, I know, and Munro. It just hasn't quite been going. However, sometimes just cricket being cricket, on a certain particular day, if the stars align the correct way, things can be very, very different, can't they? And that's just cricket for you, isn't it?
That's right. So, look, where there's life, there's hope. So, a bit like the Queensland Origin team, their backs are against the wall, the boys. But, I just wish them all the best. And it's one major trophy in sport that's certainly eluded us. And,
yes.
About time we brought one home.
I agree. I agree with you.
True that, brother.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, even though I know our other mate over here isn't a cricket fan at all, I'm sure if the Black Caps do bring their cup home, he'll be yelling and screaming and cheering for the Black Caps. Eh? What do you reckon, Ra?
Well, it'll be just like if the Warriors win the NRL title, Keithy. I begged them for about 99% of the year, and if they ever won, then, I'll be like everybody else. I'll jump on the bandwagon, but that ain't going to happen. The Black Caps sort of bringing home a title of any sort, especially when you get a captain like, I don't know his name, Kane Williamson, when he said that his team weren't playing their best. No kidding. What gave him that idea? The last two losses.
Well,
come on, mate. Just tell it like it is. You guys were crap. You guys were hopeless. Be honest.
Well,
the results spoke for themselves.
Well, up until they started playing against Australia, they actually were on a pretty good run. But up until they started playing Australia and then England. So, it's not terrible. It's not been a terrible tournament yet. It's not been a terrible tournament yet. Anyway.
Well, actually, by these standards, isn't it a good tournament? I mean, they've done so well in the preliminaries and in the early rounds. But, the games that matter most, those are the ones you have to win, otherwise it's all from all.
I've seen it so often from the Black Caps is that, they go through the early stages, whooping almost everybody, doing really, really well, and then you come to the knockout stages and they're out almost immediately. I mean, it's just almost heartbreaking. Anyway, let us move on, gentlemen. Let us move on into what's certainly my favourite part of the show. It's the part that we tend to call Put the Boot In. My Put the Boot In is going out to the same person that I gave it to, I think, last week, to myself. I was a bit late in putting our podcast of Full-Time online. I think I might have only just put it on maybe Tuesday. No, because it was Sunday, and I've just been so busy. Anyway, I know our podcast, especially it's back on our Facebook page, and it will certainly be on almost immediately, not quite immediately, but maybe an hour or so after we finish our broadcast. So, my Put the Boot In goes once again to myself. There we go. That's my Put the Boot In.
Yeah, I'm putting both boots into the government because I saw a story up in Auckland. I don't know if it was 200, over 2,000 beneficiaries were waiting outside the WINS office from around 2 a.m. in the morning to try and secure some much-needed funding. I mean, what's happening in our country? Maybe they need to take a leaf out of JT and Willy's book and hit the old Oz track and try and make, a bit of a name for themselves over there, and more importantly, there's money overseas. So, yeah, that's my boot, and it goes out to the government because it sounds like the country's going from bad to better still.
Put the boot in!
Yeah, boys, my Put the Boot In this week goes to a bloke. But first, let me paint a picture. Back in 1981 at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, 38 years ago, one of the most disgraceful acts in sport occurred when the Aussies bowled the ball along the ground. Fast forward to this year at the All England Lawn Tennis Club at Wimbledon, and Nick Kyrgios serves under what are they sponsored by Rexona? These Aussie people or what? I mean, Nick Kyrgios, absolute tosser, and to his credit, the great man Rafael Nadal just brushed him off and advanced to the next round, while Kyrgios was left to ruin other missed opportunities.